Hi, this is Jim McDonald. I've been thinking of what are the main things that I say to parents and professionals over and over when I'm faced with a child who's late talking. He might be called autistic, Down syndrome, apraxic, or just late talking. Unless the child has an awful lot of language and conversation, the major thing that I focus on is I encourage these folks to not rush to language. The point is that a lot of times when a child is just playing and interacting and making sounds, people push them to say words and they're not ready. A child needs to be a constant social sounder. Remember that term. Constant social sounder before he's a social talker. Remember that we're not interested in children just having a bunch of words. I met with a little boy the other day who had a whole bunch of words. He had lots of words, but he never used them to communicate. He used them to count numbers, to name colors, to do a lot of repetitive things, but he was not communicative. So what is it that we say to parents? What we say to parents is become a constant social sounder yourself. There's very often, or very seldom, do I see parents and others imitate a child's sounds and having conversations with a child's sounds. It may seem silly to you, but it's very important. Many of our late talking children are delayed in their sound production. And in order for a child to talk, the best way for him to talk is to practice making sounds. Making sounds back and forth. So the notion of a constant social sounder is someone who is talking with people back and forth, and the other people are making sounds, and maybe they're translating into some words. But one of the findings that I make over and over again, and I've done this for many, many years, is that children will make more sounds when they're playing by themselves than when they're interacting with others. And it seems to make sense that they do that because when they're interacting with others, the other people, the adults, are not responding to the child's sounds. If a child will point to the refrigerator and go, ah, 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 the adult says, that's a refrigerator. Say refrigerator. Say refrigerator. You know what's in the refrigerator. Your favorite drink's in the refrigerator. Well, all that language is wasted on the child. All that language is wasted on the child and just comes out as white noise. He's hearing, instead of hearing all the words about the refrigerator, what he's hearing is ah, 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 ah. So it's very important that a child becomes a social sounder and that adults become social sounders before a child is going to have words that are social. And what I mean by words that are social is the difference between language and communication. So often I've seen a number of children in the last week who have a lot of language, but almost no communication. That is, they don't initiate, they don't respond, they don't stay in conversations with that language. They use the language to perform, not to communicate. So I just want you to get over the hump of believing that words come first, because they don't. Sounds are the fathers to words. Sounds are the seeds to words. If you don't support and fertilize the seeds, you're not going to get the words. And we get feedback from parents all the time on our YouTube, on our not YouTube, on our Yahoo group. We get lots of feedback that when parents start imitating the child's sounds and playing with this child's sounds, the child does a lot more interacting and communicating and eventually talking. Think of sounds sort of like, think of a 6-year-old boy who wants to be a baseball player. And you throw the ball with him back and forth and back and forth, and you do it thousands of times. The same thing I want you to do with sounds, is throw it back and forth 1,000 of times, and then change it, and he'll change it and put words on it, translate it a little bit. But the point is, get into your child's world of sounds, because that's where he's going to learn words. Every time you make him say a word that he can't say, he's going to, inside him, he's going to know that he was wrong, that he failed, and he's going to stay away from communicating with people. This is so very important, because I see so many children who don't communicate with people, who haven't really practiced many sounds. And this is a particularly important issue for children with Down syndrome and other oral motor delays. But it's important for all children, because the sounds that children make are the ways that you can interact with them and you can have a relationship with them. That's all for now. Thank you very much.